Hello, listeners. Welcome to the Dream Stream of Consciousness. I am Yiskah Cook.
And I'm Ellen Ronis.
Wonderful to all be together again, you and I and
Mhm.
the viewer. So I am excited. I think you have dreams. So how will you choose which one is calling you forth?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for the one I had last night because it still feels like, feels like it's
Hot
right.
off the presses, as I like to say.
Exactly, hot off the presses. And it's a rainy day here, which is unusual in Santa Fe. And I
Okay,
just has that feeling like I never quite woke up.
I do. I do. Overcast here also.
Yeah, okay. Um, so I'm in Jen Warren's house, and I'll just say Jen Warren is a person I used to live with, one of the people
Okay.
I used to live with. I'm in Jen Warren's house, which was a typical upper middle class suburban type home, um, which is not a real house, not what a real house looked like. But in the dream, it was that kind of a front lawn and hedges and 2 stories, and the houses right next to each other. Um, it seemed like I had left something behind. I'm a little unclear as to why I was going to go into her house, but no cars were there, and I just somehow knew how to get into her house. I mean, it was just I just like went in, and I went upstairs. I kind of had a feeling she was there, even though like I was like felt like I was sneaking around.
Yes.
Um, so I like went up to what was had been my room, and I see her in her room, like on the bed sleeping. And I was like, oh shit, she's here. So I don't know. I go in and take whatever. I don't actually get a sense of what I was grabbing or what I was
Okay.
doing, but I got the sense that I had to get out quickly. And then I get outside, and there's actually, I think this might have happened before. There's another Jen Warren there, and this is a reality check. There is another Jen Warren in Santa Fe, and I happen to know them both.
Okay.
Um, so this other Jen Warren came, but it didn't look like her at all. She was very skinny and had this kind of long, straggly hair, like almost like a little homelessy kind of.
Hmm.
And she wasn't really anybody that I knew. She kind of reminded me of somebody that I dance with sometimes, but like didn't know her. But I knew her as Jen Warren, the other Jen Warren, and she
Hmm.
somehow found me there, and she was kind of
I
like.
just want to point out I'm letting you like do the reality check as you go because it seems it's so intriguing. I want to hear the story. I appreciate getting the little bits of information as we tell the story.
I guess the reason, yeah, I know I am doing that. I guess the reason I'm doing that is because, like, if I just say I'm at Jen Warren's house, like, it doesn't, it's meaningless if you don't know who that is. But I don't know. Maybe I should just say it like that.
No, no, I appreciate this just is just, trial and error, but I'm appreciating this. So
Okay.
let's continue.
Okay, cool. So the other Jen Warren is like, I think this happened before, like, where she was, before I went into the house, like, she wanted to come into the house with me.
Okay.
But I don't really know why, but I'm a little like weird and confused. And so we go into the house, and I'm trying to like hurry her up out of the house. That's what I remember. And like every
Okay.
door somehow going out the door, but it was all very easy. And the house was very clean and like carpeted, like a very typical sort of mini McMansion kind of house.
Okay.
Everything was very big and boxy and carpeted and sort of very, almost looked like she had just moved in.
Okay.
So we get outside, and the other Jen Warren, who came in with me, all of a sudden, like, flopped down into the bushes and like curled up to go to sleep or something. Just curled up. It was so weird in the bushes. And then she, like, and yeah. And she did that like a couple of times in different places. And I didn't know what to make of it. I was confused, and I didn't know what she wanted. And so, let me just see if there's any other thing. Yeah, no, that was the whole thing. That was the whole thing.
Wow.
In this house, going into this house that is not a house that I know, but kind of reminds me of a lot of houses, that I've seen before in that
Yes,
world.
yes.
Mm.
So,
Um,
so how do you know her from? Well, there's two of them with the same
okay.
name.
Yes.
So
So,
how shall we differentiate?
so the Jen Warren that whose house I was going into
Yes.
was my ex-housemate, her and her husband. I lived with her
Okay.
husband and sometimes her family.
So she'll
Uh,
be Jen Warren one.
Jen Warren one, yeah, okay. Um, and then and the other Jen Warren is somebody I know. Actually, I first originally met her in pottery,
Huh.
and somehow I don't know how we got to, oh, I know, yes, and we have the same name, and she has a third name, which is her married name. So,
Okay.
but we're not. She actually came to my workshop. She came to my very
Oh,
first
oh,
the sort of experimental
oh,
workshop that I was doing with working with anxiety using the arts. And she came to that
yeah.
or whatever.
So
Yeah, but I don't know her.
now you were you were apartment mates or housemates with the original Jen Warren, is that right?
Yes.
Jen Warren one. Sorry, I named her. I should remember her name. So so I'm feeling like if this is my dream, that there's something that I left back at that time in my life that I need to now reclaim so that I can go forward in my life now. And I feel like the Jen Warrens are, it's very interesting that they have the same name, right?
Yeah.
That I feel like it's the evolution of, if I'm the dreamer, of myself. It's just, that's just what I'm feeling.
Yes. Something about that feels right.
Yeah. I've seen a couple movies. Oh, Terminator. Do you remember Terminator? Are you Sarah Connor? You know, and all the Sarah Connors in the phone book. He was killing them. So
I don't.
that was, I'm just
I saw
giving
it a
you a
long time
little
ago.
sci-fi moment, and this has been your sci-fi moment. But then I also have been really into the show Monk on Netflix. And there was an episode where there were many Julie Tigers, and they were all. So there's something about that for me of like, what does it mean if like having the same name as someone is my question to myself.
Yeah. It's funny. I told you about Monk last week that I was really into watching it.
But I was agreeing with you
You
because
agree.
I can speak from
Yes.
from many
Yes.
episodes later and say I really like this show.
It's a good show. Um, okay. So here's kind of how I'm gonna, yeah, I feel riff off of what you're saying, but this is my hit.
Okay.
Is that yes, that there was something that I was going back to get,
Yes.
but when I went back to get it, everything was different. Like she was asleep in her bed. I mean, not that that wouldn't happen, but it just, I don't know what that meant actually, but that she was sleeping, but there was definitely some way that I felt like I was going back to get something, going back into
Okay. Yes.
the house. And the sense was whatever it wasn't seen or known. It wasn't something that I could actually put my finger on.
Okay.
Um,
Can we pause there and do some exercises to see if we
sure,
can uncover what that might be? So,
sure.
how old was I, if I'm the dreamer, when I lived with?
It was recent, so
Okay.
you know, I mean, I lived in their house for 4 years, and I've been in this
Oh,
house
yes.
for two.
They
So
had the animals.
yes, yeah, they had the
Yes.
horses and the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And now oh, that's interesting
yes, yeah,
because then I'm wondering, and I want to ask myself, in what ways have I grown between that and then this?
yeah. Well, that's a great question. That's a great question. Because we grow, but sometimes we don't know we grow, and we just keep grasping. I mean, I guess I'll say that that's what
Sure.
kills. I keep like trying to figure it out, and what do I need to know, and where, there's like a lot of like kind of grasping energy, and
Yes.
um, yeah, feeling like I really want to run and know what my next step is, know what I'm supposed to be doing, and understand how I've grown. And I don't
Yes.
really, but I do know that I'm a different person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that would be really so interesting to explore.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I will say that I spoke to her, so it could be also processing something.
Yes.
I spoke to her. I mean, we texted each other last night. She was giving me the name of some kind of a particular energetic type body work that she had been receiving, and she was like, "I just thought of you
Yes.
because I knew that I had been wanting to kind of move away from the deep tissue body work, the very
Hmm.
physicalized body work that I've been doing." And so
Hmm.
she just, and I've been so confused about that. Like, where do I go in like, really, just confused.
And we're
And
blessed enough to have been taken on much of your journey through
on
the
the
deep
journey,
stream.
y'all know, any of you who've been around,
Yeah. Any regular?
any regular listeners, yes, you would know that that's true. And something about what she was offering me, like in waking life, really kind of lit me up a little bit. It was like, ooh,
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that.
explore
I'm the
this.
dreamer. It was my dream really is like putting an exclamation point to
Yeah.
that, you
Yes.
know,
Yes. It does feel a
in
little
case I overlooked it, you
right.
know.
Oh, and interestingly, so, that I go into Jen's house because,
Yeah.
she was the connection of this potential something new. But I go into this house that's like, I go in, it's not, I think it's going to be the old house where I'm trying to pick up some lost thread of myself.
Yes. So
It's
the
a
old house
totally
being the
new,
house you lived in together.
yes, but the
Okay.
house I walk into is not her house. I mean, it is her house,
Okay.
but it doesn't look anything like it.
Okay.
Her house was very like, had a lot of stuff and beautiful like knickknacks and things and paintings, and this house was like very pristine. Had, so that was kind of interesting too.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of it all, but I feel like there's definitely something to that. There's definitely something to like going back. You can't really go back. When you go back, it's going to feel different because you're different.
Oh, I like that.
And I think that the other Jen Warren maybe came into play because I could just make this up. I'm not sure. I sort of took a break from pottery for a while
Yes.
again. And, I know her from pottery, and she kept wanting to like lay down in the bushes, like almost like play dead kind of thing,
Yeah.
go to sleep, just randomly go to sleep. So it was
In the
almost,
dream.
yes, in the dream.
Yes.
Of like maybe that part of myself, whether it's the pottery or it's the workshop that I was offering that I'm not doing right now either. I'm not putting energy into that. And so maybe
Yes.
she represents those things, those two
Yes.
that are a little bit like sleepy right now.
Yes. Oh, wow. Well,
I'm trying to get her
soon
going.
soon
Come on.
they'll wake up because hibernation is coming to an end.
Uh-huh.
The bears are waking up,
Yeah.
the armadillos, though I have no idea if they're
So much here in Texas.
yeah. So yeah, I think that's wonderful. So good. So I'm forewarned, that this is going to be waking up in me quite soon, and I want to be ready for that.
And maybe it's just going to look different. It's
Yeah,
like the old thing, and the old, feels it, those things, yeah, they want rejuvenation somehow. So they
yeah.
went to sleep, but
It's the next rung,
yeah,
So of course it'll be a little bit different because you're different, and then
right.
what you have to offer will be a little bit different. So
Yeah.
if I look at it like a spring,
Yeah.
spring.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of never really thought, this is in waking life. I never really thought, not that I never thought, I hadn't been thinking that I was really wanting to explore any further body work techniques or anything.
Yeah. Hmm.
Really kind of moving away from it. But something about that actual connection with her, and her offering this potential thing that she thought of me and thought,
I
was
I think that's incredible.
felt it definitely felt like, well, maybe I'm, why am I making it so hard for myself to like completely reinvent the wheel?
Right. And besides that, it's like I ask for guidance from the universe. Give me some, I'm not going to say a sign because everybody's looking for a sign, but guidance. And I feel like this dream is very much giving me guidance that whatever this body work is, I need to look into it. This is
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
I'm
like it might
grateful
just
for.
be different enough, and using some very different part of myself that's waking up,
Yes.
like my
Yeah,
my deep
just check
wisdom
it
and
out.
intuition. Yeah, it's just it feels, it's worth checking out. Is all.
I think so.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how did you feel when you woke up from this dream?
Hmm. It somehow did feel strangely hopeful. I mean, I was definitely like, what? When I woke up, I was like, that's weird. A
Okay.
little bit, but it was very
Ever again, the plight of a dream worker.
right.
Upon waking up, we can't just have the pure response. We have to start analyzing it. Or
Well,
that's my projection of what I'm
okay.
hearing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that that's what I was doing. I was
Okay.
just like confused, I guess. Is
Okay.
the
Oh,
word to
good. A
say.
pure reaction.
Well, I was like, what? Well, that means confused, I guess, to me. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. This was that, I didn't well, let's see. No, I hear what you're saying. Let me see if I can find more of an actual feeling there. Hmm. Yeah, no, it just feels like
I think inquisitive,
curious.
it's very
Yeah.
much a feeling.
Well,
So,
there was
yeah.
there was a resonance, I guess. It's not really a
Yeah.
feeling, but there was a resonance with this dream.
Yes.
This dream means something. Like it means something for my waking life. Like it definitely had that feeling.
Yeah, I definitely feel that as well. Hearing this. If this
Uh,
were my dream, I would agree.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there's more to explore with the second Jen Warren person. Like
Okay, yes. Yes.
why was she who was she looking like? Why didn't she look like herself? What does she
Yes.
represent?
And
You
then I
know?
also, if I'm everyone in my dream, so
Mhm.
what are traits that I may share with her?
Mhm.
She's very organized, or she's
I don't know her that well, which is the thing,
okay. So, okay.
you know, about her. Yeah, I'd have to really think about that. How I remember
Yeah.
seeing her when I would see her at the Pottery Studio and what I thought about
Yes.
her.
Yeah. Or maybe she's just representing
Yeah, she's
that
kind of
creative time.
earthiness somehow to her. So,
Nice.
maybe, yeah, that part of myself.
That matches pottery,
Hmm.
earth,
Hmm.
obviously.
Yeah, yeah, something about that. And the environment was interesting too. It almost reminded me of my ex brother-in-law's house. Like they lived in
Interesting.
one of those kind of communities, and
Yeah, like
um,
a
like a
development
yeah, like a development.
community. Yeah.
Right? Houses were really spacious inside, a big
Right.
kitchen, big, everything was big.
I understood when I was listening to the dream, I understood that this one was smaller than I might have imagined. Is that just my own?
No, it felt pretty big. It felt pretty
Okay.
big,
All
spacious. Yeah,
right. I didn't
yeah,
have that right.
yeah. Carpeted, I remember that.
Yeah, you said that. I remember that too.
Light colored and very pristine, kind of.
So if I'm the house,
Mm,
what am I wanting?
I'm the house. It feels easy for me to reveal the item or thing that was lost. Like if it's pristine and clean, then she
Yes.
should be able to have the things should be able to be presented from me like easily.
Yes.
I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just riffing like
That's also like Mr. Monk. What are you looking for? I'll know when I find it. You know.
yes, right.
Well, I think that's a very interesting
Yeah.
exploration. And I
Yeah.
think seeing as you are a wonderful writer, and that seems to be a genre, an artistic space you're working with, you're writing.
Mhm.
I think if I were going to honor the stream, I would want to write about it
Mhm.
and see just automatic writing, you know.
Yeah. 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 I have been doing some writing practices. So,
Yes,
um, yeah. Yeah. I definitely want to play with this one a little bit more.
yes. Well, thank you so much, Ellen, for
Thank
sharing
you.
that.
Thank you. Thanks for looking at that one with me.
My pleasure. So I hope our listeners enjoyed this, and we say
Sweet dreams to all.
Hola mode metukin.